guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to make egg tacos. As a college student, a lot of people aren't really good cooks or don't really have any good meals to make on a regular basis, and so egg tacos are something that is super easy. You can make them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I personally usually like them for breakfast, but they can really be used whenever you want, and they're really easy, but they also are really nutritious. They have a lot of protein. You can get some good fat in there and some carbs by using the tortillas. And so the first thing that you have to do to make egg tacos is to get all of your ingredients together. So for your ingredients, you'll use 3 eggs, corn tortillas, some kind of meat. You could use whatever meat you like, but at my house we like the brown and served sausages. And then the things that you'll want to use as toppings. And so for toppings, I got some shredded cheese, avocado, and taco sauce. But really, those things are really customizable to you and what you like. And you can feel free to change those up however you want. And so the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna put your 2 pans on the burner. And so this pan will be used to heat up the tortillas, and this pan will be used to cook the eggs. And so this pan you'll want to turn on immediately because you want it really hot to crisp up those tortillas. But then that one, you don't want it too hot or else you'll overcook your eggs and make them rubbery, so you don't want to turn that one on quite yet. So we'll turn this burner on to high, and then I forgot to grab oil. So we'll crisp up the tortillas using a little oil so that we fry them. But that's not the first thing. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your eggs and crack them into the bowl. And so I usually like to use 2 full eggs and 1 egg white, because an egg white is really low in calories but has a lot of protein in it. So it's a good extra addition. So 1 egg white and 2 regular eggs. And then grab a fork. And so to whisk them up, you can either use a fork or an actual whisker, but we're college students, we don't necessarily have all of the kitchen tools, so we'll use a fork. And so I always season my eggs with salt and pepper before I cook them. And so we'll get those stirred up in just a second, but at this point we want to put our sausages in the microwave. So these are just your basic frozen sausage, and so we'll pop these in the microwave for 1 minute. And so then while that's cooking, we'll get our eggs all combined here. I like to put in a tiny bit of water. That makes the eggs more fluffy, but it doesn't have the calories that milk or whole heavy cream would. And so you want to whisk them really, really good here. Make sure that there's some bubbles and that you can't see any streaks of white. So now that those are all mixed, this pan is starting to get hot. We just have to wait for those to cook. And so once those are done, we'll cut those up and throw them on the pan. Now would be a good time to turn on this pan so it can start getting warm. And I would turn this pan on to medium-low heat. You really don't want these eggs to cook at super high heat because they'll end up overcooking. So now that the sausage is done, we'll cut up the sausage. And so you just want to kind of cut it into little bite-sized pieces. That way, when it's in your taco, it's just like a part of your bite. And you really want to make sure that you get them distributed. So we'll get these all chopped up here. And now that these are all chopped up, we're about ready to start cooking. So once I grab the pan spray, we'll be ready to get going. So the first thing that you always do is you spray the pan to make sure that nothing sticks. This is a non-stick pan, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't use the pan. So you spray that on there, and then I usually put in the sausage next because that'll kind of let the fat start cooking down and really flavor your eggs really nicely. And so now that that's cooking, we'll get rid of this fork and pour our eggs into the pan. So pour the eggs in, and right off the bat, they're not really cooking. So you'll leave them for just a second. so that they can kind of start firming up. And while you're doing that, you'll grab your two tortillas, which I grabbed a bunch, but you only need two. And we'll put just a tiny bit of oil, probably about a tablespoon or so, into this pan here, just like that. And so kind of swirl it around, make sure the whole pan is covered, and we'll plop this right down in there. You can hear that sizzle, and that means that it's cooking and getting nice and crispy. Okay, so at this point you'll want to stir your eggs. I always stir from the outsides in because the outside edges of the pan are generally the hottest. And so you'll want to make sure you keep a good stir on this. Now that it started cooking, but you can hear that's about done. And then we'll let this sit for another second and grab our next tortilla. So we'll grab a paper towel to kind of dab the oil off, but that is nice and crispy. And then this looks like there's still enough oil in there, so we'll just throw it straight on and let it start heating up. And now, as you can see, the eggs are nice and well incorporated, and the sausages are right in there with it. And so they're getting really close to done. The trick to making really good eggs is to not overcook them. You really want to make sure you pull them off the heat before they are completely firmed up. And so here you can see they're still a little soft. They're not 100% done, but because they're so hot, they'll keep cooking for a little bit. So we'll want to take these off the heat and then turn the burner off. Take our last tortilla, put it down, make sure we get all the oil dabbed off of these, put them on our plate. So now that burner's off and our eggs are done, they've been taken off the heat, and we'll put them on our tacos. And so you just put them on the tacos like so, and now it's time to garnish. And so with that, you just add your favorite toppings. So I'm gonna use a little bit of shredded cheese. At my house, we don't usually buy bagged shredded cheese because it tastes a lot better to just shred it yourself, and it's super easy. So throw that on there. And then we had some avocado that I had been eating earlier. So we'll get some slices of avocado, and you can just place those on your taco like so. And then the last topping is, I like spicy and I like a lot of flavor, so I am going to use some taco sauce. And so we'll take a little taco sauce, and it'll also add a nice red color to your tacos, and pour it right over like that. And just as a reminder, this part's completely customizable. Whatever you like is what you should be putting on there. And so now you have two delicious tacos that can be used as a great meal any time of the day. And it's got a lot of healthy things in it, but also is really tasty. So as a college student, this is one of my go-tos. And it's a really good option for someone just learning how to cook or someone without a lot of skills in the kitchen. So I hope you've learned something today, and I'm gonna enjoy these tacos. Bon appetit.